Have you shaved this yourself?
Friend did something with it.
Friend did something with it. Okay. Yeah. It goes down, up, and then around again. I think you shouldn't have got it shaved and knocked down for this look. Oh. I think it's kind of scuppered to fit this look today. Challenge. Dilemma and challenge, yeah. Just trying to think what to do. Oh, it's a tough one, man. Right, guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel, the Regal Gentleman Studio. And today we've got Ziqi in the chair. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what are we doing? What's the plan?
So I have a picture.
Yeah, cool. Show me.
So
okay.
I would say, I think my head's disconnected. I would just like a parting around this side.
Yeah.
And I will want to fade as well.
Okay.
But keeping the sideburn. I like my sideburn. And
okay.
Maybe chop off some of the line on top.
Right, okay.
It's like touching my lips, and I like it around the edge of my nose.
Around your nose. Okay, no worries. Have you shaved this yourself? Have you?
Friend did something with it.
Friend did something with it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So is this a lockdown trim? Because you're the first one, if you are, for me to do a lockdown repair, which is quite amazing this time around, because no one's touched the hair this time around. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So you want a parting in your hair, yeah?
Yeah.
Where would you like the parting to sit?
Roughly like a 3:7 ratio.
A 3:7 ratio?
As in like the parting, it's not like in the middle, but like around here.
Right. Okay. Okay. Have you tried a parting there before?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been okay, yeah? Now, what are you looking to do with the undercuts and the disconnection? Are you looking to keep that?
I'm looking, I will want to keep the length.
Yeah.
So that it will cover off the side as well, even though I'm planning to get a fade.
Okay.
Or do you have any suggestions?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's so high on the shaved area, it would be very hard to connect it.
Yeah,
at that length.
We'll just leave it as it is.
Yeah, because my only problem is, where you want your parting, it won't sit naturally there, because you've got no support whatsoever, okay? So with your parting, unless you're going to wear your product very heavily onto it, that won't really stay too much, because your crown is smack bang there. It doesn't want to sit there. But also, we've only got literally about maybe half an inch gap of hair there. So it's going to be hard to make it stay there, because it all needs support. I think if you hadn't got the sides shaved so high, you'd have been okay. But it doesn't want to stay. If you see that, it doesn't want to stay there naturally. Okay?
Can I show you this as well?
Yeah, yeah.
This was just before when I washed up this morning.
Yeah.
And that's roughly where I keep the pot.
Okay.
From like around here, this.
Right, okay, from just off the center, yeah?
Yeah, just slightly off the center. I guess I want my hair more like textured as well. And to give it, after some trim, maybe give it more volume on the top.
Right, okay. We've only got a couple of problems though, right? Is that there's only so much we can do for volume. It's got a balance everywhere else, okay? So I'm just looking at your parting here, so it's just off. It's almost like where the natural parting is really. About there, would you say?
Yeah,
about there, okay. So that falls well, because that's like a natural parting, that's fine. It's just to get volume and texture. So what are we doing with the bits that are hanging over? Are we going to try and attempt to blend that in? Are we going to leave that to hang over? What are you thinking?
Leave it to hang over.
Leave it to hang over.
Obviously shorten it all the way up.
Yeah. And when you say you want to keep the sideburns, what do you want to do with the sideburns? I mean, how short do you want the fade to go down to? What number are you thinking? What length?
Like 1.
A 1? Okay, that's fine, yeah, that's cool, okay. And then with the, so when you're saying a fade, do you want me to blend this down from this length here, or do you want me to shave it up to where you've had it shaved to before?
Since I'll have the hair covered up anyway, I think you can just fade it all the way up.
Okay, fade it all the way up. Okay, the only thing is with that, is when we're doing a fade is a graduation. It's another word for a graduation. So because it's not straight through here, when I'm fading it up to something, I'm going to leave hair through here, but it really needs to be level, otherwise it's going to be sticking out. And it's going to make the hair stand over it. So, you know what I mean? So, because if you look at that, it looks like that bit there has just been almost like shaved with the holding the hand, because it's got it goes down, up, and then around again. So I need a level line to fade up to. Otherwise, it's just going to be all over the place. And then it becomes hard for me to try and cut the top, because then if you take a little bit away from here to match the front bit, if that's gone too high, you take the whole hair away and it'll stick out with your hair as well. So it's a bit of a tough one, mate. I think you shouldn't have got it shaved and knocked down for this look. I think it's kind of scuppered to fit this look today, because it's just going to be very hard to get all these things in that you want, because of just how it's not very even on this side. You've almost shaved into your fringe as well here. So that bit concaves in. And if I lift this bit up here, it's not the same height. So I mean, so I picked that up there, it's completely odd in height.
Okay.
And it's shorter on that point and longer on that point.
So what?
So, challenge. Dilemma and challenge, yeah. See, just trying to think what to do. Oh, it's a tough one, man. I think, because I don't want to shave this side as high as that side, because that's way too high.
Okay.
Way, way, way too high. And even though you are having an undercut, that's cool, but for me, shaving into this bit here is just like, you just don't need to do that. It's not going to do any favors, because when it grows out very wispy. Okay, I need to have a little think about this one. I think the only thing we'd really want to do is we can cut the top. My only worry is that when we start cutting the top, because the undercut is so all over the place, I'm worried that if I start taking bits off through here or through the top here, because the way it's been cut underneath, it will take an awful lot of length off. It'll be very asymmetric, because that's basically what it is now. It's asymmetric now. When you cut here, you follow a uniform and a guide. You don't just kind of just pick bits up, and unless you're adding texture and stuff like that, you can pick certain areas up, but the primary shapers, which is like the haircut itself, is done either symmetrical most of the time. Like for a generic cut, it's usually symmetrical, because it's kind of very long at the back through here. If you pull that down, it's very long at the back. And as you can see, it's shaved right up, but not very straight. So if I start taking sections off here, like this, and I'm pulling it out, as soon as I cut that, as you can see, it's not very level. It'll take an awful lot of length off your hair. And if you want the height in there, your hair is so heavy and so straight, it's very hard without blow drying it an awful lot every day to get volume in it, especially when you've got no balance anywhere else. So if you had a bit more hair through here, we could have maybe left a little bit on the corners, so that way this hair can sit a little bit higher up on the blend. That way we can get away with texturizing this a bit more, so it stays up, and it's basically just like a layer all the way up, okay? So like a shelf all the way up. But because we haven't got that, and because it is, again, it goes kind of just drops down at a bit of an odd angle, I'm just a bit worried about how it'll look when I start cutting it. I think we try our best to level off the undercut. I think we start with that. Once that's done, we'll know where we're at with the top then. All right. Would you mind though? Because I mean, it's got to be level, but this is just way too low on the left-hand side here. Yeah. So if you see loads of hair coming off, it's just to level it. Okay. You'll still have all the top bit, but it's just, it's just the back through here. If you lift it up like that, it's just kind of, it goes sort of, if you lift it up, that's basically how the section's been taken by the looks of it. I think it's just been grabbed in the hand and just kind of shaved up. Not necessarily sectioned. So I would, I'd probably just try and level that off as best I can. Would be quite nice as well. What I think would work well with the style is that if the back here was much shorter through this bit, and it was longer to the sides here, because that way I think you'd be able to get a bit more shape as you pull it back over from the parting like this. Yeah. If the back is taking in a bit more, I think it'll just add a bit of shape to the haircut. Because at the minute it's just very kind of, it's just not, I don't really know where this bit's meant to go in the haircut for me personally. I don't really know what I do with this bit for now, because it just comes down to a bit of a point. And even from the picture you showed me, you weren't doing nothing with the back bit. So I don't really think you need all this length here. I think the main focus is this, and then we can start working with what we can see in the mirror for now. And that way, obviously, we'll try and keep the blend. We'll probably go to about here so we can build up some weight. So that way it won't look as harsh when it's cut, for this bit here. I think so. We leave some shadow in that, leave some hair there. If we start with if we blend down to a 1 here, that might start looking slightly different. But yeah, I think that's probably the best we can do, and then we'll work on the top. Okay. That's all right, yeah? Cool, man. All right, well, let's give it a rinse and a condition, and then we'll go from there. All right, pal. Cheers.
Just to start out, it's almost like a two-parter in a sense of like you're fixing the part.
Yeah, I'd say, in a way, it's like, kind of, it's like sort of getting the shape put back in. I mean, I can't get it to be how I'd like it today, just because of how high it is on the one side. Because I'm all up for creativity and stuff, but I think creativity's got to have some balance. So it's a bit like doing 2 haircuts in one, almost. So we've got the separation of the back and side, and then we've got the top and everywhere else. We don't really have the connection. We don't have the kind of build up the shape and layering it all in. We just have kind of back and sides and top. It could be a 2-part of this, I think. You might have to get you back again to get it perfect. But we will do what we can today. We'll make it look good today. All right, man. We're going to start with the back and sides, okay? So first section I'm going to take is from the right-hand side, because this is the lowest point. Now I want to perfect this side, because then that way we can start to grow this side out. There we go, so we just bring that round like so. As you can see, that's gone really, really high into the top. So it's almost gone into the round of the head, which is why it's kind of sticking out like that, and you've still got that little bit there. So obviously it just wasn't sectioned straight. That's fine though. I mean, I wasn't expecting, it's very hard to section sometimes, but for me to make it this straight, these are the problems that I was thinking I was going to have, is that because it's gone so high, we're going to have to keep the blend low. But then it's either we take that off and we keep, it just stays as it is, or we try and grow that out a little bit. Get it to get a bit more length in the sides, then that way we can take the horseshoe, or we can take the parting or the disconnection perfectly straight. I think that would be my suggestion. More than just following the same pattern that we've got now, because it'll never get higher or straighter. It'll just stay the same. I think if you grow out the corners here, it will really, really help. So I think if you did grow it out for like a month, then that way, and we don't take any length off these corners here, I think that'll really help for the style to be absolutely perfect. If that's okay with you? Yeah. Yeah, sound. Okay, good. I'm just going to take this length off here, just to balance it up to, see, if I pull my fingers out, there's the sections all there, see? It's a little bit jagged. So I'm going to elevate that a bit more, so it doesn't fall too straight, so it blends in with everything else, okay? And then I'm just going to work around here, just to get any of them little long bits off. I'm going to start with my number 2. I'm going to put the lever down, make it a 2.5. I'm going to start back here. So I want to try and blend it into this bit here. Just because I think if we can grow out this sort of undercut, we can then put the undercut in like a month or so, and there'll still be a little bit more length grown out. So that way we can get it absolutely perfect then. And plus this will create the element of a fade, whereas if we just shaved a 1 up the top, it wouldn't really be a fade, it would just be a 1 length. So it wouldn't really be a graduation like what Ziqi's looking for. And close guard now. So back onto my number 1 guard. Leave it down, so 1.5 or 1 open. I'm just working up into that 2. Now, do you want, with the sideburns, and you said, do you want to leave them natural, do you, as they are now, just shorter? So leave that hair coming into the sides there as well. How would you like your sideburns? You said you wanted to leave your sideburns. So when you say leave them, do you want me to still put a number 1 over them, or but just natural, no lines or anything? Yeah. Okie dokie. So close guard. Number 1. Up and off like that. Just going to blend in that 2 to the length. So I'm not going to take anything off here. I just want to blend this in. Now, a good way to do it is working up from the 2 upwards and pulling out when you get to the top. But another good way as well is working down into the blend as well. So you're just capping off any of them little straight hairs at the top there, making it nice and straight, and also graduating the clipper work as well. And so as you can see, we've just leveled off that a little bit more now. So we took that longer length off, and that's just starting to sit a bit straighter now as well. Now, go on the back, and drop this down, like so. Yeah, it's quite low down the bottom there, but the problem is it goes high and then comes down like this and then like this. And realistically, you want to drop it down with a bit more curve on it, like so. That way it just starts to blend in. The problem is the crown is there too. But I really don't think all this is necessary whatsoever in this look. As you can see, working in stages, it's worked really well because we can really see what we're trying to create. And I'm just going to level off to the right hand side up here, like so. I'm just going to work into the middle like that. Back onto my number 2, lever open. I'm going to add a nice graduating, or a nice fade, should we call it, into this haircut now, by keeping a bit of length at the top. And that will just help support the longer hair to sit over in the correct shape, more than it sitting really flat to the head. But I can really see what Ziqi wants. I just want to make sure I can make it work today at the earliest convenience, you know, which is today. So if I can make that style work, then amazing. If not, then I'll get something as close as I can to it, but just adding a bit of my twist on it that I think works the best for him, really. Back onto my 1 guard now, leave it down, so 1.5. I'm just working up and off. Working in between the 1 and the 1.5. Then close guard. How would you feel if we tapered the neck tight, so we faded the neck out into 0 down the very bottom? How would you feel about that? Down the very bottom here, if we done like a really, really tight fade down the very bottom into nothing. Would you be happy with that? Yeah? Only reason I suggest that is because the way the hair is going to sit over the ears and sit over the back, I think a fade is more noticeable the shorter down you go. So I think keeping the 1 on the sideburns, we'll keep that as it is. Just when we get to, like, say, just the bottom of the ear, we'll just fade it a little bit tighter, and then we'll sharpen the edges off, and I think it will just add a bit of contrast to the look, if that's okay. So you can keep a very nice tight fade down the very bottom. Just to add a little bit of a twist to this look that I think is needed, because considering we're not being able to take it as high as we want and things like that, I think this twist is really, really needed in this haircut. Now what I'll do is I'll just line up the edges now, just while we're here, just the very bottom bit here. Just for now, just for when I start to do the fade. Starting with the half, so the open blade, the lever pulled down. Just going to work up into the 1, the little notches until I get to close guard. This around so we keep it nice and symmetrical. There we go. Slight elevation, there we go. Back onto our 2 again, following the same shape as before. Back onto our 1 now, open guard, open lever, so it becomes a 1.5. And down into our 1. The clipper over comb to blend the 2.5 into the length we already have, and I'm just working over just to cap off any bits that we're still sticking out. Go over smoother transition into the blend. I'm just going to shape up temples here a little bit, just give a bit of shape to the haircut. And match it up to the neckline. Just move them dark patches with the 0.5, just to taper them in a little bit tighter. Let's move on to the top now. So, back and sides are done. Are you happy with the length on the back and sides? Is the length okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a number 1 down the bottom there, but what we've done, by keeping a bit of that length there, do you see where you've got a bit more balance through the top now? You can have a bit more, you got that length, see there? That length sitting there. It just allows a little bit more freedom for these little bits through here. I just think it just gives you a better face shape as well. So, lengthwise at the top, are you still looking to wear it, like you said, like the video you just showed me then? Bit of height through the front here, and you're looking to wear it in a part and just off centre, yeah? Yeah. Cool, okay. And would you be bringing these side bits back? Would you have it hanging over the ears? How would you have it?
Oh, yeah, hanging just over the ear.
So just bringing it,
down.
okay, so bringing it kind of down like that and behind the ear, yeah. Like that. Like that, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm bringing it around the ear, yeah? On the lines of that, let's see. Okay. So what I'm going to start at the back. I'm going to work from the parting as well. So, like we said, just off centre. So roughly about there. Would you say that's about right, Ziqi?
Slightly lower down.
Slightly lower down?
Just a bit.
You see that?
Yeah, that seems, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So make that part perfect, because this is what the key element of this is, because I want this to drop down and tuck behind the ear like that. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Something like that. Okay, bit more height, bit more volume through here, maybe at the front as well would work quite nicely. So again, this is a very sort of bespoke personal style to Ziqi. This isn't got a name to anything like that. You almost have to really work with the client to get it perfect for them. So what I'm going to do here is looking at the bit that comes back, I want that to sit there, okay? Because I think as that falls back, it'll look really nice. I'm going to bring this down to here, okay? I'm going to cut that length just a bit lower down. So like this, not folding it round, just staying nice and straight. I'm going to match this up, pull it out, and just point cutting into where I can see my guide underneath. There's a guide underneath there. I'm going to work back. So from front to back. Now the reason why I'm cutting it in the parting is because I want the parting to stay as prominent as possible. So if it's cut into one, it's more likely going to fall that way for them as well. I'm going to pull this right down. And there's my guide, okay? So essentially what I'm doing is I'm cutting this bit shorter, and as it gets longer, it's going to go start here and then drop down that way, like that. So we're keeping that length sitting behind the ear for him. We're keeping the same structure, the same shape. I'm just going to work through the top and have a little bit of lift, a bit of height in there for him. And again, talk about product choice as well, because product choice comes into play as well. Now, a fairly wide section just to the apex now. I'm going to pull right back. Bring that down. There's not going to be much coming off this now. Head down for me again. So how much you like off the top? Do you want to take much off?
Just maybe like
that much, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm just going to cut it, point cut it as well, so it does fall quite jagged. I always find with cutting straight hair, cut it too blunt, it doesn't really fall how you like it to, so cutting it, point cut it like that. Now I'm getting that parting perfect every time now because we're cutting it into the parting as well. So I'm going to keep this nice and straight. Maybe a bit more length sitting down towards the sides. So the hair still stays back behind the ear. Down here, like so. Now let's sit behind the ear. So pull this all the way down from the parting and cut it just in a slight angle. Just taking a bit of length off. Again, thinking of how much we're taking off by the lip onto the nose as well. Look at that, it comes down to the mouth, so we're taking off roughly about the same as what we're going to take off now coming from the back. So the back's giving me my guideline as it gets to the front. I'm not going to take any sections through this corner bit here because there isn't much length to take, so I'm just going to take the edges off down the bottom here and match up to the other side. As you see, as we get round to the front, start to bring this forwards now. We're taking off the exact amount we need to following our guideline. And then all I'll do is just take a section from here at the front, just as a guide, pull that down and match up to the middle. And that sits just nice behind there as well. Now, last but not least, I'm going to work just adding a little bit of volume, a bit of texture in this. I'm going to use the razor for this. I think it gives a much better finish than what the scissor will. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little bit of height. So working over this side, I'm going to go against the way the pattern is. So minus the fringe, taking a section just at the recession point like so. I'm going to take a section here, and I'm going to go against the way this is wanting to lie. And this will give height. So going this way, I'm going to slide up into that there like that. Also already that's not sitting as flat. See, it's getting a little bit more height in there. Through here, I'm just going to work on this to break this back bit up as well. Just so it falls a little bit softer. Yeah, like that. Tiny bit of height. Working straight on. Just little slices through here. Just add a bit of support. Just not on the pattern itself though. There you go. And then just breaking up around here, just to break up the disconnection through the back a bit as well. Now I'm going to dry it off and see how it's starting to sit. Right, I'm going to use this brush today, okay? So a vent brush. And I'm going to start to dry it from the parting, like so. I'm just wrapping it around at the root to give that height and volume in there. Okay? Bring it in. Up. Now I could use a round brush, but I don't want to create too much height at the root. I want it to be quite natural, just more body than anything else. Now these bits here I want to sit flat, so I'm just drying these nice and smooth. Just working it up at the root, quite sporadic, so we get a nice little bit of volume all over the place. And at the very front, just working it up and off the face. But just very natural, not look like it's been too blow dried. Right, to finish this, I'm going to use a styling powder, okay? Separate it and just sprinkle it into the root. Under the layers there that we've been cutting with the razor as well. Sprinkle over the top. And from the parting, and rub it into the scalp to create that thickness. And that volume, I mean, look how big it goes. It goes massive, right? And then tuck that behind here like that as well. Bring that in. How's all that for you, mate? Happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good, yeah.
Cool, man. Thank you. Right, so to recap, we had a bit of a kind of DIY job, kind of thing, and it was just a little bit kind of not straight, not even, whatnot. Just basically try to even out the undercut underneath, so it looks symmetrical now. So when you lift it up, it's got the same symmetry all the way through underneath the hair itself. So we went down to a 1, I started with a 2, and I had to take some length off certain areas just to make it balance. Faded it on the neck to give a bit of something, a bit more of an edge, so it just sits, you see that ruffledness through there, that kind of heavy undercut, and then just a little bit of a fade in the neck, just have something different to it. And then just through the top, we just matched the length up, and then I added the razor to it just to give a little bit of texture and whatnot through there. So you can wear however you want, really. I've put the parting in, because that's essentially how he wears it at the front, but if you want to wear it all the way back, you can. It's all uniform. Through the top as well. So it just gives them an opportunity to do other things with. Happy, yeah? Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man. Thank you. Looks wicked, mate. I like that a lot. I didn't think we'd get to this. I was a bit like, how am I going to go with this?
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of complication, but it's not just fine.
No, it's fine, mate. It looks good. I like it. It looks nice.
Are you happy with that? Do you think it needs a part 2, or you think you're happy with it?
I'm happy with it, but again, I think I would like, I'm happy with it for sure, but I think I would like it to be like perfect, you know what I mean? Like I think if we grew the bottom bit out here a bit more and kind of had a real, kind of, I wish that bit wasn't taken out. It was really, because I think it would have helped a little bit more. But I love it the way it is. It's cool. It's wicked. It suits you, man. It's your look. It's good. I think I'm a perfectionist, so I just like things like straight lines and all that. So.